She founded an architectural concrete company.
He founded a $100 million clothing company.
She took the world by storm as a social media star.
He took the world by storm as a famous serial entrepreneur.
Together we started a business.
And had babies.
Now we're figuring out the best ways to do both.
Join us as we learn from other entrepreneurs going through the same life struggles.
As they share their life hacks about success, love, kids.
And everything in between.
Welcome to the Pretty and Punk Podcast. My name is Dan Caldwell.
And I'm Ildiko Ferenci.
And you are listening to the Pretty and Punk Podcast. And happy anniversary.
Happy
Beautiful.
Anniversary.
It's our 5-year, we just had our 5-year anniversary.
Isn't that crazy?
I know, it's so insane.
Time flies.
And we've been together longer than that, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it just happens so fast.
It's a whirlwind. I know I stare at the babies and I try to remember their faces. I was looking at Destiny today and looking at her little smile while I was nursing her and just trying to memorize her face the way it is now, to put it away, because they're just growing so fast. Remember?
I know we're going to forget so much because
please no.
I said we got to write more of this down and videotape more of it. It's so weird, right? With video, like when I was growing up, we had a VHS tape and we would record on a VHS tape or a CD, and it was different because you had that and you recorded for long periods of time and you saved that. But nowadays I feel like it's so easy to record and we're recording so much content that what do we do with it all? How are we ever going to organize it in a way that we can find it again?
We got to figure that out.
Somebody's got to figure it out. There's a $1 billion idea right there. If I ever heard one. It
probably exists. We just don't know about it.
I just want to remember the little things that they say. I mean, I'm starting to confuse. I'm already confusing things that, which kid said this. And
I'm not. I still remember, but I just, yes, you need more ginkgo and vitamin E or
fish oils.
Oh, man. But I think that brings us to our episode today where I'm getting a lot of emails and Dan's getting a lot of emails of how we're pulling it off with 2 kids. And what are we doing strategically to deal with business and our podcast and whatever we're doing with the 2 kids? We don't have a nanny right now. We don't have a babysitter, but we've
got businesses to run.
Mm-hmm. And we figured out some stuff. How
do you master 360 life success while raising kids, running a business, and a committed relationship? Whether you're married or not, right? Mm-hmm. It's not easy to do. And a lot of people are failing miserably. And we have our bad days too. Everybody does. We're human. And we just want to get better.
Things don't go as planned. And I think first and foremost, you just have to understand that things won't always go as planned. And you have to just be okay with it. I know Dan still struggles. When the kids are around.
Did you just call me out?
I did. Well, you still struggle with it.
True.
I know you feel like, I don't want this to interrupt my meeting or my podcast or my interview. And I've just embraced it. And I know in the beginning I was struggling with it, especially I was playing secret parent for a minute and I was trying so hard to pump, and I was still going to do my shoots and my meetings and my interview and leave the bottles at home. And then I realized I can't pump. It wasn't working. I was getting mastitis every time. And the doctor said, some women, they just literally cannot pump and they just have to straight breastfeed. So if anybody wanted to book me for a shoot or the Maxim Hot 100, I had to bring the baby
nearby with the baby.
The baby
somewhere.
Was there. Yeah. So
down the street.
And I just embraced it. And it was crazy because I remember like magazine articles and news articles. And I'm like, this isn't anything unique, you guys. Like, I know other women out there are doing this juggle. It's not really newsworthy. Really? Like, something's wrong with the world if that has to be newsworthy. So you just have to embrace it and just do it and just go for it. But we're gonna let you in on our personal tips and tricks today of what we do
with our kids.
With our kids, because one's a little bit older now. And they're very active. They're in that active stage where Destiny's not really a baby anymore. She's walking now. She's running and she's doing things. And Daniel, he's very creative and he's very talkative. So that's where we had to get creative. So he doesn't, mommy, hey, while I'm in an interview or while we're in a podcast, right?
Yeah. Yes, while we're in a podcast. Yes.
And you will
while
hear him.
Daddy is doing a podcast and I hear kids jumping off the top of the couch onto the floor doing somersaults. I do not know what was going on, but I was trying to get your attention. Like, can you do something, please? Can you please intervene here? Like, I'm in an important interview and all I can hear is both the kids screaming.
They weren't screaming.
They were screaming.
They were so excited. They were
I'm like, how are you not paying attention to this?
They were just being so cute.
I just had to. That's one of the moments where I just had to like throw my hands up and just go, okay.
Take a deep breath.
I'm doing a video interview and I had to look like none of this bothered me, and it got to the point where it just didn't anymore. I guess there was nothing else I could do. So let's start with just what we do with our kids. So we can section this off. Let's talk about what we do with our kids. Then what we do with our business, how do we maintain doing good business, and then we'll talk about what do we do with each other.
Okay.
And it's at least the parts we can talk about on the show. Okay. So let's talk about what do we do with our kids? Like some of our best practices. Like what's something that you like to do that keeps the kids.
Well, first and
busy.
Foremost, I feel, and we've talked about this in other podcasts before, I grew up with a single mom running a business, and we were very involved. And my mom, the one great thing that she did is she never ignored us. Even when she was with customers, she would find a way. She's very savvy at this and very good. When I was in the store, she would find a way to include us. She would include me in the conversation that she was having with customers so creatively to the point where the customers would start telling me, their life stories. And it was really interesting to me. So for myself, I really feel that I like to include them. I don't like to ignore them. When they have a question, I bring them in to whatever I'm doing. Say I'm on a business call, or sorry, say I'm on a business text. I explain exactly what I'm doing business-wise, and he gets really interested in what I'm doing. Like, he'll sit there and he'll listen, and I could see him take it all in. Now, if this wouldn't interest him, then I wouldn't discuss it with him. But I explain, mommy is talking to a business colleague, and then I tell him exactly what we're talking about. And he finds it really interesting. Now, if he didn't find it interesting, obviously we wouldn't go there.
But I've tried to, and I wasn't good at this. And I learned this from you. Because I was the one finger person, that one finger dad who was in the middle of a business meeting or conversation on the phone or whatever it is. And I would put the finger up and I'd be like, hold on, but I'd mouth it. I wouldn't actually say it. I would just mouth it like, hold on, I'm on a call. Stop. And
I don't that was me. It felt aggressive and mean to me. But and guys, real quick, even I did say business call. Sometimes when I am on a business call, or if I'm on a business like even a video, I'll say, Mommy's on a business call, on a business video. I'll have him sit on my knee and he can quietly listen. He knows he has the permission to quietly listen, and that makes him feel included. As long as he doesn't distract me and he doesn't start being noisy and changing the subject, but he knows that at the end of the conversation, he knows that he is able to have a discussion with me about what he liked about the conversation, what I was talking about, or what, my colleague or whoever was on the other line was talking about. So he knows he needs to listen so we can have that conversation after. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, but it works twofold because, and I really like this, and this is what I do now. I'll explain to him, this is what we're doing. And I'll explain to him why we're doing it. And I'll say, we're having this business phone call, and hopefully the person that I'm speaking to is okay with this, or I'm on a Zoom meeting or whatever it is. And I'll say, we're having a very important Zoom meeting about this, but I need you to be real quiet while we listen, or something like that. Because and it works twofold. Not only does it help him understand real quick and knows that he's not being brushed away and brushed off and pushed off, but it also helps him understand business.
That's right.
He's learning through our actions what we're doing. And because I think we all want, for us, not we all want, but we want our kids to, even if they're not entrepreneurs, to have an understanding of what we do and life and how to have these types of conversations.
Right. I feel it's a different form of education because I remember everything when I was a child. Possibly. And I remember how valuable, till this day, I remember some of those conversations. And I do remember now that I understand, if I go back and I think about one of the experiences, I remember how it would warm that client or customer's heart. And you could just see their eyes start to sparkle and they feel like, I'll tell you this for sure. It was always a deal closer. Like we would always sell something really amazing in the jewelry store because I feel when you're a parent and you include your child like that, you get these raving fans and they want to support you. They want to support your family and they love to see what's going on. And I feel that now for ourselves as well. When we have the kids and they're so engaged and interested in our clients or the people that we're working with, like I just see that same glimmer. Like I recognize that same emotion and that joy that the clients back when I was a little girl was experiencing.
But I think that's what that's also what's come out of Daniel, is that he's become interested in this. And when they see how interested he is, they're excited to see that there's this little kid that's interested in a conversation like this.
Exactly that.
So I think that's what's become of that. That's the fruit of this the way we handle this. That's the best part about it is that he's become interested in these conversations and actually ask questions about it and ask good questions. Sometimes even when we ask him to be quiet, he decides he wants to ask a question, and he asks a really good question most of the time.
Yeah.
So I think that's great, and I think we can all do that and learn to kind of just throw our hands up when those things come up,
right,
and not be so concerned about trying to keep this perfect situation because we have kids. It's we have kids, and maybe that's part of the situation,
right?
And hopefully, we're talking to somebody who possibly has kids too,
and is in the entrepreneur world. I get it. There's some, there's craftier moms. Our oven doesn't work. I'm not a baker, and maybe some moms frown upon it, but I'm in a different life, and I know some people probably frowned upon my mom, but I enjoyed my life like that. I enjoyed living the entrepreneur life with my mom, and I see my son enjoying it too. So and you're right. The questions that he asks, he'll sit down and have a conversation. He'll be like, "Mommy, can we have a conversation? I want to talk about whatever it is."
Yeah, it's changed his vocabulary too. Yeah.
he tells people he's a businessman, and he's very interested in influencers like Jay Shetty and Ed Milet and Gary Vee. He knows all these people and he loves them. What were we doing the other day? I think we were doing our morning exercises, and he said, I'm going to do one more like Ed Milet.
Because Ed always says, if you don't listen to Ed Milet's podcast, it's incredible.
Which I'm sure you
But Ed Milet always talks about doing one more. That's his rules. Like he's always going to do one more. If he's doing push-ups, he's going to do one more.
And it surprises me because I've never told Daniel to do that. It's just something he picked up.
So another thing we do is to try to keep our kids. You got to remember, we're trying to get work done, and our kids are running around the house like Indians, and cowboys and Indians, and
Peter Pan.
Peter
we
Pan,
just watched
whatever
Peter
they're
Pan.
doing. So we're trying to keep them busy, and where we can, the more work we can get done, the better, and the more quality work we can get done, the better. So something else we tried to do with the kids to keep them busy, and we'll tell you what we do personally to get more done. But let's talk about what is we try to keep a schedule of things that they can do, activities that they can do that Daniel can choose from to keep himself busy. So that might be we have Play-Doh out, so he can open that Play-Doh himself and work with Play-Doh. And for older kids, there's other things that they can do. But he also he can draw, and we try to keep crayons available so that he knows how to get to the crayons.
And he is crafting materials. I didn't realize that he was so into crafts until we went to Vegas for a work conference, and he was kind of not running, but he was just, trying to climb everything in the Chanel store. I was there. I was looking for I think it was some kind of gift. I was looking for a gift for my mom, and
Daddy bought you some shoes.
The woman,
Daddy brought you some shoes home.
Oh gosh, he bought me old lady shoes. Guys,
okay, go ahead. Never mind. Sorry, stop. Just stay on subject.
Okay. Anyway, it was great because the woman there that worked there, God bless her soul, she said, "I have an idea for your son." So the back VIP room, she brought all these little flowers and bows and boxes. And then I just watched Daniel he quieted down, and he just started getting very crafty and creative. And I was like, wow, so this is his side. This was a long time ago. But that's where I realized, okay, this is something that I can implement when I'm trying to get some work done. It's time for him to be creative. So just putting a bunch of stuff there, like just kind of preparing little stations, like, okay, this is his creativity station. This is his Play-Doh station. This is his paint station. Or, I like to kind of supervise the paint station, but whatever it is that he can.
Or watercolors.
Watercolors. He knows that he's not going to go on the walls or anything like that. I don't even want to give him any ideas, but you guys know your kids best. So,
whatever. And for older kids, there's other things that they can do. If it's there might be journaling.
Things that they could do quietly. You discussed it before. Journaling,
watching documentaries, or
and then writing a little essay after,
or writing a story.
Right, writing a story.
There's lots of great. We hate to put our kids. This is one thing we try not to do. We try not to put them in front of the television
something
any
that's
more than we have
mindless and addictive, that they'll pick bad habits up.
And not to say that we haven't been guilty of that.
Well, not mindless stuff. I'm very strict.
Well, not mindless, but there's shows, like a good show, they might watch Frozen or Coco or something like that.
Yeah, there's 2 shows that we know are winners, and they're not too bad.
Yeah, we
Frozen,
just watch shows that have a good story behind them. Mm-hmm. But I do love documentaries or educational films. Daniel will watch a TED Talk sometimes.
Yes.
Depending on the TED Talk. Sometimes he's not as interested as others.
He'll watch podcasts. Like he'll watch Jay Shetty. He'll watch Gary Vee. He'll watch, you got to really kind of listen to your kids and figure out what they like. But he likes watching podcasts, like inspirational podcasts.
Hey guys, if you are anything like us, you love well-made, imaginative products that are safe for our families. We've created this incredible list of products that we know you're going to love because they are our favorite things too.
Things that we already use, and many of them have been recommended by our amazing guests, so we know you're going to love them. We have everything from health and wellness products, books, hard-to-find specialties, an assortment of items for the kids, inspirational items, and even fashion. These are items that we enjoy and help us be our very best selves, and they are all in one place.
To see the complete list, head to prettyandpunk.com/favorites. Let us know if you picked something up and how it works for you. We would love to hear your feedback. We love these items and we know you're going to love them too. Go to prettyandpunk.com/favorites and shop your best life. If you have a little one, our 1-year-old loves signing time, and Daniel loved signing time when he was little too.
Well, Daniel didn't watch TV until he was 2. Like, we didn't let him on any devices.
Right, but when he was 2, he started watching signing time. That was the only thing we'd let him watch.
Right, and Destiny's, she's going to be 2 soon, so we just started a little bit earlier with her.
Because of Daniel.
We knew that signing time worked for Daniel. So what that is, it's a program for sign language. And
she was signing before she could speak.
She could sign, and Daniel too. Both of them could sign before they could speak. And it was such a blessing because, they didn't go through that phase where they get frustrated. Although Destiny is more fiery of a child than Daniel. Like she knows what she wants and she'll express it, no problem. But she was able to express, if she was hungry or she was frustrated, she was able to sign all that stuff. So that was so helpful. And as a first-time mom with Daniel, that was so helpful. I knew when he wanted milk and, all that other stuff, the priorities that kids need.
So that's a great show.
Yeah.
Signing time. If you can catch it on, I believe it's an app.
Well, you can catch it on YouTube also. And there's also an app.
Yes, so good for young kids. If you're going to have them watch something good.
Yeah.
PBS has some good shows.
And there's movement. They learn through movement.
Even for olders, America's Got Talent, just watching kids and adults, do things, express their talent is really good. I also... snacks, just having snacks out
Healthy
available
snacks.
to them. Put them in little Ziploc bags, some raisins, nuts if they're old enough, bananas available. Our kids love fruit. We cut up fruit sometimes, so just all those things so they can be, they can on their own walk up there, grab what they want, whatever they're hungry for. And it keeps them, it lets us keep working. And as we talked about before, if they come up to us and they want to interact with us, sometimes we'll put down what we're doing and we'll go play with them.
Right.
So sometimes we're not always working straight through. And we'll talk about when we get the hard stuff done. We'll talk about that in a second.
Right. But I feel like when we figured this out, like we really sit down and we have playtime for a good hour, maybe 2, and then we explain that mommy and daddy are going to work. So we could put the timer on for an hour or half an hour, 20 minutes, or whatever it is that you think you can. And you really got to be focused to get your work done. Don't get sidetracked. Like really get your work done, get focused, and you give them the time. They understand the time. And the time will go off, and you say, when the time goes off, you come and get mommy and daddy. Sometimes they're having so much fun that they don't come get you till later. But if they interrupt you, they also have to understand that the time has to go back to 0, and then they're going to have to, start from scratch.
Or at least until we get whatever we're trying to get done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But and guys, we make mistakes. We're not always great at all this stuff.
We're just telling you what works.
We're telling you what we if we in
and
our
tell
best selves,
us what works for you.
Yeah.
Please.
Try to implement some of this stuff and let us know how it works for you guys.
Or no, I mean, even if they have something that works for them, share it with us so we could share it with everybody. That would be amazing. And we'll give you a big shout out. That would be amazing.
Yeah, we're open to all that.
Because the things that may work for us may not work for some people. Maybe there's something incredible that you do that we don't know about yet.
And we have younger kids also. I mean, I have older kids too, but we have 2 youngers that live with us, and they're 1 and 4, and that's for them. We might do something different when they get older. Mm-hmm. That might change. Or a lot of these things will change.
Yeah. So it was so easy.
Is there anything else for kids?
Real quick, do you remember how easy it was, like when they were first born?
Oh, yeah, because they couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't jump off the top of the couch.
They would just sleep.
Our son literally gets stands on the top of the couch sometimes.
Give him ideas, please. Stop. He's doing so good right now.
I know. But he's actually playing it right now. Yeah, see, so right now we're able to get a podcast done.
Yeah, and the little one, now she wants to copy everything he does. So we have to be extra careful. No ideas in his head.
So let's talk about what are some of the things we do. As long as I think that's it. We'll come back to it if we have anything else.
That's it too. And we'll try to gear a nap time. Say if we have a podcast, we'll try to gear a nap time for our podcast. If you have small kids, you definitely want to.
Absolutely. That's something that I wanted to cover.
If it's possible.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I'm
you
like
guys
secretly behind
the.
Let's cover that in the business part. That's coming up. Hold on. Don't get ahead of us. Okay, what are some of the things we can do to operate at peak levels while working from home? So what are those things that we can do as business people? We're trying to run our businesses. We have, usually more than going on than we can handle in a day.
Yeah.
But we just do our best, right?
We do our best.
So
we do what we can.
What are those things that we can do to really win the day? And one of them is, and I'm horrible at this right now, but I'm working on it. And this month, I'm actually going to change my whole routine. So I'm just going to get out in front of it and say it. So now I've said it. Now I have to do it. Mm-hmm. Get up and win the day. Get up early before the sun comes up and win the day. That's when our kids they're in this deep sleep, and it's a great time to get a lot of work done. Now, right now, I've always been, because I worked graveyards as a police officer, and even, so I've always been, for years and years, I worked graveyards as a police officer. And so I've always been a night owl, and I've always done my work at night when everybody goes to bed, because she gets up early, and I do all my work at night.
But I used to be on that train with you, and
did.
I feel like...
Because, I don't know, did I put you on that train, or was that just you?
No, you did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because that was me. Because I was just a night person.
I thought I was a night owl before I met you, but then I realized you like to go to like 5 a.m. and stuff, and I was like, I couldn't, honestly, this is something I never really told you, but I felt like I can't keep up. My body it wasn't feeling its best. I would push myself because as my mom is an entrepreneur, she was a night owl, and she did that too. So I would, before I met Dan, would go to 2. And I thought that was a night owl. But I know that she would go further. My mom would wake up in the morning, she would work, and then she would do a night job that I didn't even know about till I was older, like clean offices to make extra money for us. Then she would come home, then she would cook, put the food in the fridge and have a few days worth, and she'd do laundry and she'd do all this stuff. So I started doing crazy stuff like that, and I felt it really taxing my body. And I did this, while I was pregnant with both babies, staying up and, doing the gym like I used to. I feel like I pushed myself too hard because my mom always promised herself to never be lazy. And I felt like if I gave my body the rest that it was supposed to have, I felt like that was lazy. But that was all in my head.
You were
like
weak and weren't a hustler.
Lazy. And coming from, I don't know if there's any Eastern Europeans out there, like you're like immigrants, you know, I think that they get that. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, you can't be lazy and you have to push yourself. And anyway, so hustle.
Yeah. And I feel that too, though. I mean, I felt that too. I think.
Well, that's what I'm saying is you would be up till like 5 doing stuff.
But, you know, a lot of that wasn't hustle, though. It was I would get an idea and I would start down that rabbit hole and I just couldn't put it away.
Yeah, he wasn't doing. I would be doing laundry. I'd be doing all this crazy stuff, building. He's not really handyman, so I'd be like building the crib.
Did you just say that?
You're not. I built everything
you don't need
for
to
the babies.
Tell everybody.
It's okay. I know there's other women that have this thing. So anyway, I couldn't sleep till my job was done. And my mom was like that. So that's just a bad habit that I learned. So anyway, when I got sick, everything changed. Things changed. I decided to go to bed earlier. I knew I needed my rest. I knew I needed to be here for the kids. Things totally changed. I realized I'm not a machine. And I have.
Well, why don't you speak about some of the things that you're doing now? What are some of the things that you're doing that I'm going to start participating in because I haven't participated as much. I have on occasion, but not as much as I probably should and will in the future.
I feel like I almost need to do a separate podcast on this.
Yeah, but just say quickly what kind of some of the stuff you're doing.
Yeah. So when this whole journey started, I met someone and she told me, it's so crazy. It's so crazy how the universe brings people into your life. Like I knew meditation was good and I tried it, but I didn't really. Anyway, she introduced me to meditation. She introduced me to the Love Hurts that you can look it up on YouTube. It's just something that brings you to a state that gets your mind to feel love. The love, like it's the sound of love. So search that on YouTube. It helps me fall asleep. It's a type of meditation. Then a friend of mine introduced me to Brain Tap, which is a guided meditation, and we've been doing it. So you kind of have been meditating.
Oh, I've been
because of me
trying to.
So I do that every night, and in the peak of this all, when it all went down, like I just needed something. I was like, please God, I can't, like my wheels are turning. I need to be strong. I can't be crying. I can't be, freaking out in front of the kids. I need to have something to not have my wheels turn in a negative way. I need to think very positively. I have to envision my body healing and being stronger. Even, whatever the doctors are saying right now, I have to go against that grain. So that meditation really helped. So I'm doing that all the time still in the morning, and I do it at night. And my son will ask me, "Can you put on Dr. Porter? Can you talk?" No, he says, "Dr. Porty, can you put on Dr. Porty?" He can't even sleep without it. And there's different meditation. No, I have to tell them because there's different, like we do the one for body healing, but there's, positive mindset, success. There's a million different meditations that you could choose from. So Brain Tap for me has been very helpful. Also, Joe Dispenza. I was introduced to him during this thing, and I was doing his technique in the hospital bed. I was listening to his guided meditation. So he's been really, really helpful for me as well.
And we've been Wim Hofing too, or something, right?
Wim Hof. Dr. Group actually introduced me to that. He said, are you doing a breathing technique? And I said, yeah, I breathe. I breathe deep when I do my guided meditations, but I didn't realize that there's an actual technique that Wim Hof came up with that kind of that resets your body to heal. So Wim Hof, that's on YouTube, another free resource. Brain Tap, that's an app. It's free. There's like a trial that's free. Then there's also guided meditation on YouTube. There's like a biblical guided meditation. Did you want to say something?
No, I just want to say, and if you want to listen to our interview of Dr. Group, who educated you on Wim Hof, that's episode 108. You can go back and check that out. We'll put it in the notes.
He's so knowledgeable. We're going to have him back for sure.
So all this will help you win the day. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point.
And I include the children in this. So they're doing it too. The other thing I like to do, so the breathing, meditation, I like to do gratitude. I like to do gratitude with Daniel. I like to do prayer with Daniel and Destiny. Gratitude with Daniel and Destiny. She's still young. She can't really talk, but she gets it. What else do we do? Well, it also body
helps them
movement.
win the day. I think all this stuff we did and a workout.
Yeah, body movement. Sometimes we do yoga. Sometimes we do exercise. And guys, our ideal day, we get to do them all. Now, some days are busier than others. Some days are a little crazier than others. So we don't get to do them all. But as long as we do one or some, I'm satisfied. Now, for myself, and my husband is just getting into this, the cold shower, that resets your body as well. And you can search on that. So I just have a regular shower, and then I turn it to cold, and I sit in there as long as I can for approximately 30 seconds to 1 minute. Princess is awake.
Yep. Okay.
Here she is.
So, and again, so like I said, not all this always works. We tried to. This brings us to the next one.
It's our fault. We should have
tried to have
a bit earlier.
Utilize nap time to help you get some stuff done. So, one of the things we do is we try to put her down at the same time, so we keep her on a regimen that was or a routine. Putting her down around 2 p.m. And I know they're not always going to fall asleep exactly when you need them to, but it helps us with our podcast. If we're interviewing somebody, we can let them know that, we'd like to do the interview at 2 p.m. And that's why we're able to put her down around that time, maybe a few minutes earlier. And then usually, not always, usually she'll sleep through the whole podcast. And then we don't have that problem that we're having now. And if they do all these things with you too, so if they go through the workout and they go through the breathing, it kind of puts them in the right state so that they're better throughout the day for us and more open to listening and doing what we need them to do, and also behaving. So it kind of just helps the day.
You're not, so sorry to interrupt. So my son just came here and he says, Mommy, I really want to be included in the podcast. Is it okay if I tell those beautiful people out there, if they like this podcast that, so exactly what Dan and I were just talking about. And I said, it's not time now, but let me tell you when it's time and you can do your part. So just give me 5-10 minutes and you can do your part. And he says, okay. So now he's back to quietly playing. So that tactic, that really works.
Another thing you can do is pre-plan for interruptions. Do you know you can do that? You can pre-plan for interruptions. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. I
don't want to because I don't want them to think it's okay.
Well, the problem is we do our podcasting in the living room so we can watch everything go on.
We need to.
See, we could be in an office. It'd be nice if our kids were older. We'd be in the office sitting there.
We don't have that.
We can't do that.
Yet.
We can't do that right now. So we have to be able to see where they are and what they're doing.
There's something.
If the house is burning or whatever.
Sometimes during a podcast, one of us will get up and run. You'll see
I've done that
video.
a few times.
Yeah.
But it's so that's something we like to plan for interruptions. So there's things you can do like for older kids, you can put a sign on the door that says, in the middle of a phone call, please don't bother or do not disturb at this time unless it's important. You can put please be quiet time, please be quiet, or signs like that for older kids. You can also have be heavy triggered on the mute button. So if you're in a Zoom call, you can be ready on the mute button. I do that sometimes. No, you didn't see that last Zoom call. I had to have my finger on the mute button half the time because the kids are yelling. I'm trying not to, I'm trying to keep it as quiet as I can.
They were so cute. I got lost. I forgot them. Anyway.
So that's just a few things you can do. Just be ready and be prepared. And even telling some of the people, whoever you're doing an interview with or a phone call with or Zoom call with, just let them know what's going on. Just give them a heads up about that you have kids and they may interrupt or whatever, that, just make fun of it.
Most of our colleagues, they have kids too, so it's
and most people are understanding either way.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, either way, it's not the end of the world, right? So It's like if they do, if we've seen what just happened just now, our little one woke up, we still continue with the podcast, and hopefully we still keep delivering. Mm-hmm. One of the other things you can do, and we talked about this in a previous episode, is I believe we called it the nanny episode. It was a few episodes back, 4 or 5 episodes back. We talked about getting a nanny or a babysitter during specific times of the day. Now we've chosen not to do that right now, but not to say that we never will.
Right.
You can
and
have
other people out there. I was just listening to this entrepreneur. I think she's got 3 clothing businesses that are bringing in over, like, she's done really well.
All of them are over $1 million.
Mm-hmm. She's got 6 kids. I'll say that one more time. She's got 6 kids, no nannies, and she just, she's found a way that works with her family, and she does. I learned the alarm trick from her. Is what she says is she plays with them really hard for a full day before she has to implement her business, and then she'll put the timer on. And I just thought, wow, that's something I'm not implementing. That's such a good idea. So that's how she runs her life, and it's working for her. So if she has 6 kids and she's got 3 businesses that are over $1 million, I think she's doing something.
And I'll give you a few of her other tricks, I believe. I don't know her whole story, but I'm willing to bet that these are a few of her other tricks that she probably also outsources a lot of her work. So if she has shipping that needs to be done, I'm sure unless it's an electronic product or something that doesn't need to be shipped out, then she's probably got somebody to do that shipping for her. She's either hired somebody in-house or she's got a company that will ship that product out for her.
Right.
I believe she probably has some sort of virtual assistant that, helps her with emails or helps her with other things that need to get done at a great price. And you can find that at a really good price. Online, you can find somebody, and it really helps with your business and helps you get things done when you can't get things done because you're playing with your kids.
Right. And that's the other thing is, so either you could get a nanny or a babysitter, or you could get someone to help you more with your business. So either way, so if you want to be more hands-on with your business in the different parts, then yes, hire a nanny, get a babysitter if you're comfortable with it and you know that this person is going to guide your child with all their heart in the very, in the direction that you want your child to be raised, that they're going to raise your child, with you, or you get more help with your business so you could just keep raising your kids yourself.
Yeah, I mean, there's we use a app called Upwork. You can find somebody on there to do just about anything for you in your business.
And there's so many others.
And and there's tons of them out there. There's tons of them out there that can help you. Fiverr, even if there's so many people on there doing things for unbelievably cheap that it's hard to believe, and not as good of a job as Upwork, but you can get stuff done on Fiverr also. Something else that you can do
I think that, let's get some notes, you and I, because I have some we're just going to write some notes for you guys. If you guys want to tap into the resource, just email us and we'll shoot you an email with some of the things that are more educational for your kids to watch on YouTube.
Yep. With all these things that we're talking about here, and then apps that they can watch,
and apps
television
that will help
shows.
You guys as well. for your business. So just hit us up in the email. Just go to our website and then email us.
At Ildiko at prettyandpunk.com or Dan at prettyandpunk.com. And we will shoot you that information. Another great thing that you can do if you're trying to get some work done and the kids are starting to get a little bit busy and they want to you really need to get something done and they need your time. We'll sometimes put them on FaceTime with Grandma and Grandpa.
Oh, yes.
And that also works with
That's so good.
FaceTime. You can also put them on with friends or uncles or cousins or other kids. And then it works great for older kids also, right? But, they need time with Grandma and Grandpa anyway, or Grandma. So how do
Grandma will sit there literally for an hour.
Kill two birds with one stone? You hand them the phone or prop up the phone and you have them sit there and talk to Grandma and show them all the things that they're doing.
Together. It's the cutest thing.
It's the best. And it really does. It's really good for their soul. It's good for Grandma and Grandpa's soul. And it's good for the kids.
In Canada.
Yeah, and good for us.
I know. Like my mom has been dealing with really serious things like cancer, ruptured, oh my gosh, so much stuff. And I know that it is so healing for her to talk to her grandchildren. So she'll literally sit there for an hour or two and just soak in all the sweetness.
Ask them all the questions.
Soak in all the sweetness, and they'll sit there, they'll tell her stories, and it's
good for them to have those conversations also, just to learn how to speak and talk to other people, especially in this time when we're not conversating with anybody but our own kids or our own family most of the time. Now, finally, let's cover how to stay in step with your husband or wife during this pandemic, during this lockdown. We're in California, so it's a little more severe for us than it is for most people. I don't know how you guys are where you are. A lot of things are open, but they're talking about closing things down again. And definitely a lot of businesses have gone virtual. So a lot of people are at home. We know our neighbors there. They used to work at an office down the street, and now they're all working from home with all their employees that work virtually. Wow. So everybody, pass back out.
She's so precious.
So what are some of the things that we do to stay in step together during this stuff and when we're trying to get things done is one of the things we try to share each other's schedules as much as possible. So if I have something going on, like a podcast, I might tell her, look, I just sent you an email. There's, you're on my, I included you in the scheduling. I have a podcast that I'm being interviewed next week on Tuesday. She might send me, she's trying to get an interview done. And she has to write this long story or answer all these questions. And she needs me to make sure I can be there for the kids during that time. And I don't schedule anything.
Yeah, we try to schedule so we could watch each other's backs. Lately, you've been doing a lot of stuff. He's had to stay away overnight. So I've been alone with the kids a lot. And it's been really, really, I'm not going to lie, I'm so tired. And it's really hard. And I'm waiting for this, I'm just waiting for it to just get back to normal. And, I know that there's other moms or dads going through that. You just really, guys, I'm telling you, the meditation, go to sleep earlier. When they sleep, don't stay up. Don't get the work done. Because when you're alone with the kids for a few days in a row, it's going to take it out of you.
It's going to catch up with you.
And you want to feel the joy and just really wake up and just be so grateful. And because there's times when I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired and I'm struggling. And I just tap into the gratefulness. Thank you, God, for my babies. Thank you, God, for this. Thank you, God, for that. Just all the incredible, just tap into that and it'll just bring you back to reality. Yeah. And I know you're tired. I know you're struggling, but you can do it. And just try to find little things, different. And it's hard because you're going to have to get work done too in those days that you're on your own. So, it's tough, but But
being grateful is important for sure.
Yes.
That's something that I think levels everybody out. Yes. When you start to think about all the things that you have right now and how much better you are off than a lot of people in the world.
Right. And you think of it differently. It's like, oh, I get to be a mother. Thank you, God. I get to feed the children. Thank you, God, that I have enough food to feed the children. I'm so lucky that I am able to do laundry, to clean the clothes for my children so that they can wear clean clothes, so that we can wear clean clothes, so that we can sleep in clean beds. And
how about that we can jump on an app and order food when we don't have it?
And that too.
For
that help.
I'm grateful for this app. It's like these things that make life easier.
Thank you for the people that are cooking our food right now and helping us, making this shake, delivering it. Thank you for those people. And I feel like it's my son that sometimes reminds me when we do our prayers. He'll say, thank you, God, for the whole world. Thank you, God, for everybody. And I'm like, I never taught him to do that. I'm going to implement that myself. So I started doing that.
What did he say today? He said he asked what God was thankful for.
Oh, yes. We were doing our gratitude. And he said, Mom, I want to ask, he closed his eyes, he put his hands together in prayer, and he said, I want to ask what God is grateful for. I know. God is grateful that he's able to give everybody blessings. And I was like, wow. I never said that. I've never that
is beyond us, guys. Like we try to be the best parents we can, but sometimes when he says things like that, it kind of blows us away, chokes us up a little bit too.
Yeah.
But it blows us away because we do our best, but we've never said that to him.
Mm-mm.
And so it's great to see that stuff come through your kids. I'm sure you all have experienced that. If you have kids that when you do the right things with them, sometimes they'll come back and blow you away with some surprise that they've how they've turned out or how they've taken in that message that you've taught them
and
how they're using it.
I praised him because I said, honey, I need to think like that more. And I know, during my crisis moments and when I'm healing, he said so many incredible things that encouraged me, like, Mommy, never give up. You can do this. And I tell him, I could not have done this without you.
That's something else we should add to how we work with our kids is everybody should try to praise their kids as much as possible. We're always, don't touch that. Oh, don't grab that. Oh, clean that up. It's always something. We're always coming at our kids, right? And we try not to do that. We will check ourselves sometimes. Yes. We quietly try to check each other. Mm-hmm. Like she'll tell me if, I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing or saying, and I'll tell her.
It's a good
reminder.
Just,
not in a hard way, just some way that we kind of remind her to bring us back to reality. And we should try to praise our kids as much as we can because we will get so much out of that. Our kids will be so much better, and they will be better people. You
them perk up. Their little eyes sparkle in a different way.
Their whole attitude just changes.
When they do things. Well, this is what I tell Dan is there was this minute where he started behaving differently. Dan was really, really, as I said, there's some days that he can't come home. He's very busy right now. He's dealing with a lot of stuff in business, and he's got a lot of stress on his plate. So he was just being a little different. And Daniel, and I've heard about this, but he started acting out. But I think he could have gone down that path if it would have kept going. And I said, if you give him more attention when he's doing good things and the things that we like, I think he's just going to push in that direction rather than the other one where you're like...
Yep. And that's something I just had to be reminded about because I came home kind of on the wrong side of got up on the wrong side of the bed that morning and was wanted to be confrontational, maybe, like, hey, stop, I can't deal with this right now. And
that was the only way
checked.
He was getting attention.
I'm glad she checked me. I'm glad she said something and she doesn't check me. She just says, she'll come tell me, if you did this, And I'm like, it just makes me feel so bad for a minute.
Let's just try.
Yeah. And I know better. It just, when I hear it from her, it just makes me kind of crumble inside of myself like this, I'm such a bad parent. I can do so much better.
No.
But
we're human.
I turn right there on the spot because I know better. I know exactly what I should be doing. So another thing, let's start. I want to make sure we get through this, get not too far off subject here. Another thing we try to do is we try to bounce ideas off of each other. So that's in talking back and forth, a way for us to stay close to each other is that I may have an idea, even if it's because we have businesses together and then we have separate businesses too. So if I have something going on, I might try to bounce my idea off her and say, hey, I really need to run this by you. Do you have a minute that we can kind of put the kids on this and give me like 15 minutes where I can run this idea because I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. I want to make sure you think I'm doing the right thing also for our whole family.
And I feel like that opportunity gave us the opportunity to decide that, look, we're in a time of our lives where some of these other businesses don't matter. And it's almost like God made some businesses fall apart because we're at a time in our lives where we want to inspire and leave a legacy and just really connect and really pray and have God lead us in the direction that we're supposed to be going. God, surround us with the people that are supposed to surround us and let us gently leave, anything that we're not supposed to have around us, or the people that aren't supposed to be around us, or the kids. And just really, we're tapping into that type of life. And when we were kind of sad about, certain things didn't work out or this didn't work out, we're really looking at it as blessings and just tapping into that side, I know.
And lessons.
Mm-hmm. And lessons and what we've learned and just looking at it in a different way. And I really feel we're on this different path. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that we're here. Like, we kept getting all these emails from you guys through the years. And I just knew that this is something we needed to do.
Yeah, we really enjoy doing this podcast and
brings
talk.
Us so much joy.
I think we want to get so much better, and we want to just be able to deliver good content to you guys, and we push ourselves to how can we be better at this?
Yeah.
And so we study. We're constantly studying the people out there who are doing a great job at this, and great interviewers and great people, and we're lucky enough to interview great people that we really learn a lot from.
Oh my gosh, so blessed.
But so I just want to get through. I only have a couple. We're getting so sidetracked. So another thing we try to do together is we always eat meals together. So we always eat at the table. This is something we changed over time because there was a time when we ate in front of the television or we ate on the road.
But I don't think we even sat down. We were just going. I wasn't really a TV person.
I'm saying like I would be watching something. And
you're better now, but you used to watch just to clear his mind, his entrepreneur mind, he used to watch series and stuff.
I still do. Yeah. There's things I have to do.
About it. Maybe I don't know about it, but we're not I feel like if I watch a movie that I'm not learning about someone else's life, or if it's not real and I'm not learning anything, I almost feel, I don't know.
I'm that way in a lot of ways. I mean, the stuff that I'm watching besides Star Wars, I'm watching the Right Stuff series right now, and not to get too sidetracked, but it's just, it's a true story about our first trips to space. And so, I'm usually watching true stories or life stories, documentaries, or documentaries. If it's not
teaching me, and if it's not letting the kids grow.
She's you stayed up last night to watch In Search for Cleopatra.
For 3 hours, I'm like, oh my gosh, no, go to sleep.
I got caught up in it. It was just something I wanted to watch. But that's me. I'm a little weird like that. I'm into that stuff.
Well,
I love history. So we try to eat meals together, and we always pray together. So when there's a couple things that we do that really, I feel like, brings us closer and has brought this family a lot closer. And
we
a lot
worship together.
And it's really helped our kids. And just, yes. And of course, we watch church together. So those things have really helped us. And finally, when one of us lose it, like when you are out of control.
Oh, stop.
I just come up and and this is something that you guys can just take. I just come up and I hug her and I say, we're on the same team.
He started doing that.
Yes, because I think because otherwise I spiral too, and I don't want to be that way. I'm like, you're like, well, you did this, so I did this. Well, what about you did this? And so,
that's just wrong.
We just end up in this back and forth, like finger pointing thing. And so I said, I started to realize, and I heard somebody say this, I wish I could give him credit because I can't remember who said it. I was watching a video or something, and I heard somebody say it, and I just grabbed it, and I just said, that's what we need. We need to stop pointing fingers because nobody's going to win that.
No.
And we just need to just get past that real quick. We don't even need to talk about it that long. We just need to hold each other and say, we're on the same team. Let's figure this out. We're on the same team.
Yes.
And so that's one of that's the one thing that if all is lost and all this stuff gets sideways and it's still none of it doesn't work, then hold each other, give each other a big hug. Just know you're on the same team, and you both want the best for your kids, and you both want the best for your businesses, and you guys are going to win.
And you want your kids to see that because, as I said before, like, you guys have to be, he's pointing at the time, but okay, I feel that this point is important. Your kids need to see how much you love each other. Your kids need to see how you guys put each other first, even above them, so that they are going to someday, hold on, little one. Bye. Bye-bye. I love you. Bye-bye. I love you too. But they just have to know that you guys are going to be okay. And they need to know that you guys come number one to each other so that they one day in life will also be with someone that loves them and puts them on the top, and that they too can know that they can make it through anything. If they see you guys make it through anything and love each other and make up and if you guys get through anything and they see that, they too will have that success story when they're older.
And the more they see they'll pass on the same attitude towards the person that they're with.
Mm-hmm. And it just will save them so much grief if they could just learn to, how is it, like, not fight creatively, but like not fight, but just that, yes, people are going to have disagreements, but it always ends in love, and they'll be in that safe spot that things don't need to fall apart. I can't really put it into words, but
I love you.
I love you too.
I hope some of these points helped you guys today. I know we're all going through some crazy stuff in life right now. Everybody's journey is different. Yes. Some people are winning big and they're killing it right now, and others are hurting really bad. On. And we just
But they will.
They're
going to make it through. You guys just keep praying, keep thinking positively. You guys
keep learning.
You keep learning. You guys are going to make it. We all are going through it. We're all feeling the burn, but I know it. I see your emails. I see how things are changing, and I do see the ones the painful points. And if we could just keep bringing you guys value and keeping you guys together and bringing you smiles and.
I bring you a smile, girl.
Yeah.
So let us know how, if any of these tips helped you, and if you guys implement them, let us know how they worked out for you. And if you have any great tips, let us know, because we can use them.
Yeah, and we'd love to share it.
And we will use them. And we'll share with everybody. We'll let unlike the example I gave, we will write down and let everybody know who helped us because we love great examples and we're always looking for new tips and tricks.
Yes.
To get through the struggle.
Yes.
So thank you all for joining us on this episode of the Pretty and Punk podcast. If you got something from listening today, don't forget to share it with someone you love or know this will bring value to. We all need to be inspired more than ever right now.
Oh, and tag us on Instagram and TikTok. We want to celebrate you doing your thing. We know being an entrepreneur and a parent isn't easy. Also, when you leave a review, we read all of them to our kids, and they absolutely love it. So thank you for that.
We should do that live on air one time.
Yeah, that would be amazing. And we are so grateful to learn about you, your story, and how we could bring you more value.
And connect with us at prettyandpunk.com and on Instagram at Pretty and Punk Podcast. Find all the links below in the show notes. Thank you again for listening. And remember, life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you.
Amen to that.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe. We love you.